Today has been quite odd. It's quite hard to describe what I've felt today in terms of being back in a place where I lived as a child, you know, in the area I used to walk around with my old man. Maybe a mix of sadness, but yet tinged with excitement, because it's, you know, I'm seeing an area for new, with the amount of new builds that are in this part of Ancoats. For me, it's been a very interesting experience. It's good to hear that the school still exists. I can just see it over the bridge here. So some things haven't changed, but many things have. This area is obviously uber affluent, you know. Top 13 places to live on the planet. What else is this to say, you know? And a stone's throw from the city centre. The place is absolutely bustling as well. There's so many people cutting around and being part of the space. There's certainly good elements of projects that can be done in this area alone. Loads of dog walkers as well. Obviously I rarely recognise the area now, you know. I've been away a long time from Manchester. Manchester looks totally different, let alone this area. Even the town centre looks totally different from what I remember. I can see why it's become such a big area to potentially come and photograph and do stuff in. It's such an amazing space now, but with the house prices that go with it. So I've moved out of what I call new Ancoats and back into old Ancoats. Lots of ghosts for me here, but it's a good way to just get a feel for the streets. I've done this walk already in Google Earth, but obviously you don't get a true picture of how it is. You don't know how dated Google Earth can be, so what I'm essentially looking for is old versus new. And if you look to my left, you can see all these new houses, which even include things like this, which is quite interesting to see. They built these new builds, but I thought about electric carports as well. Probably not enough for the whole block, but hey, it goes without saying. But if you look at these, they just look like Lego houses. They don't really seem to have soul. And will they still look nice in 30 years? Don't know. Remains to be seen. So essentially what I'm looking for now is that whole kind of piece around old Ancoats versus new Ancoats. New Ancoats is growing and it's pretty much everywhere. New Ancoats is obviously spreading, but to me it's the old Ancoats that still has that kind of, I don't know, element of something else, something historic. You know, don't get me wrong, I like the vibe in new Ancoats. I thought it was great, but I don't know, maybe something just pulls me back here. And as I say that, I'm looking straight at the bank. And the ghosts continue. My next stop is where my dad used to run a pub, which is called the Falcon, and it's now gone. After he had it, there was a fire which gutted the place, and then it was demolished. I think it may have been around here. So I'm going to try a bit of rephotography. I've got an old picture of the pub my dad ran, which was called the Falcon. I don't know if you can just about see that. Anyway, I'll embed the shot in the video anyway, but I'm going to try and recreate this image now and try and superimpose it with the way it is now. Let's see how that works. I think I got it in the bag. Let's see when we get it on. So I'm going to work my way up over the bridge onto also like the Bradford area, Bradford pub, and then I'll work my way back down Bradford Road itself. But now I actually thought the Mitchell Arms had gone, but it's not, it's right there. I was looking in the wrong place, but the Mitchell Arms still exists. That's pretty impressive. So let's get a shot of that. Right, what's the betting? It's not open. It can't be open after all these years, especially with the state of the back of it. Open till the elements upstairs. The lads behind me are canal cleanup. So obviously you can see the money that is getting pumped into this area to make it potentially nice for more investment. You get the investment and then stuff like this can be done up. Look at this. That's lovely. Look at the colour on it. And obviously the canals can still support barges, it's deep enough. So that means there's no reason why a company just couldn't put moorings alongside this bank or this bank. And that opens up another small community of turning this into a sustainable canal system that can be used like other areas of Manchester, as it's certainly done on the south side. It is a small world. A little chat with the barge guys. Mentioned my second name, O'Neill. Turns out he used to live next door to my Uncle Pete. Small world. Everywhere it seems like these mills are being worked on, and these are a few of the last ones I can remember now. I believe this one I'd actually occupied by businesses and some other apartments. So I will say, everywhere you look within old Ancoats, the shadow of the new is encroaching on the old, and really it's a matter of time before these areas follow suit. This estate will probably stay, my guess, but it's these mills that are going to be targeted next. Now to me, we've kind of hit that northernmost point of Ancoats now, where you're pretty much walking into Miles Platting. But as a lad, I used to say that this old mill in the distance there would be great if somebody actually did it up and made it look nice, you know, and that was really the start of it all. I think that was the first mill to actually get the upgrades and get redone into what it is today. To be honest, I can understand the draw of living somewhere like this. You know, the scene that's in front of me is colourful, it's nice, to an extent it's well kept. You know, we've seen the barges going up and down, making sure that, you know, the canal is clean. and free of debris. They might need to get on this one a bit, but I think generally you get the idea. It's pleasant. Who potentially wouldn't want to live here? Some nights me and my old man, we'd walk this canal, but I don't remember further down being as deep as it is. As a kid it was always quite shallow, and we used to look for leeches and stuff. Okay, now this is impressive. Look at that. So this area, you know, that I grew up around, it's been good for me to come back and really get this sense of recollection, but seeing it with new eyes. You know, this is a nice area, it's pleasant. I'd be worried if I had kids here, because the canal's obviously deep, but you know, teach kids to swim. It's maybe not that deep. But because the houses are new, they're all rocking electric car charging ports. It's obviously the homes of the future that they're building. So I'm kind of coming to the bottom end of what I'd consider miles plotting, and beyond this next lock system I think is more Ancoats. Actually the canal's bursted blanks, which is quite interesting, especially if you just bought a new build right next to it. You'd be twitching and thinking, should I empty the lock? Oh, maybe jump there, mate. I don't even remember this area, to be honest. Obviously I remember that, but definitely not things like this, which haven't just come about. Look at all the Canada geese. The change to this area has really made it something different. I'd be twitching if I lived in that house, so I'd be thinking about sandbags. I'd be thinking about how to use that lock system to empty that water off. Alright, mate. Now I've seen it, I feel a lot better about it. I've lived in a townhouse and they are quite smart, especially when it's a new build and you're one of the first few in there. And the developers have obviously had real foresight into, you know, thinking about how, you know, we get closer to the city and still make nice suburbs, which I think they've really nailed. You know, chuck out some bread and you get the local wildlife as well. So the big burning question is, am I still in miles plotting, or have I gone back into Ancoats yet? And I think this, what's this, Bridge 87 over, I can't remember the name of this road, but I'll go up over the road rather than through the bridge. But for me, this area forward now kind of feels, this is Ancoats, rather than behind me being miles plotting. and I'm almost back at Mozart Close, which is over this way. Now this canal a long time ago was actually filled in with concrete, but it looks like they've reformed it into an actual working canal. Because when I was a kid, we used to play on this canal and it was like ankle deep. So to see it back to its original state is quite warming, especially like I say with moorings on the side. You can build this back into something more usable. Can't get over how different it is, but in a good way. You know, you may say, oh, but they shouldn't have changed it, shouldn't have done this, but then, you know, what would this area be? What would this area be if it hadn't have been developed up? It'd still be just a collection of old disused mills that were rotting away and no use to no one. It's brought money and affluence to the city in an area where it didn't exist before, without a doubt. You know, I think my feel on it is it's only a matter of time before other areas of the city get the same kind of investment.